What's going on, you guys? This is Madam Mindy One, and I'm coming back to you again. This is from the Iowa Capital Dispatch. You can go check it out at iowacapitaldispatch.com. And it says lawsuit: Tyson managers bet money on how many workers would contract COVID-19. This was done on November 18th, and the article was done by Clark Kaufman. I apologize if I mispronounced the last name. It says a wrongful death suit tied to the COVID infections in the Waterloo pork processing plant alleges that during the initial stages of the pandemic, Tyson Foods ordered employees to report for work while supervisors privately wagered money on the number of workers who would be sickened by the deadly virus. Earlier this year, the family of the late Ferdinand sued the meatpacking company, alleging Ferdinand was exposed to coronavirus at the Waterloo plant where he worked. The lawsuit alleges Tyson's Food is guilty of a willful and wanton disregard for workplace safety. In a written statement issued by Tyson's Foods on Thursday afternoon, President and Chief Executive Dean Banks said, "We are extremely upset about the accusations involving some of our leadership at the Waterloo plant. Tyson Foods is a family company with over 130,000 team members, and these allegations do not represent who we are or our core values and team behaviors. We expect every team member at Tyson Foods to operate with the utmost integrity and care in everything we do. We have suspended without pay the individuals alleged involved and have retained the law firm Coverton and Burlington LLP to conduct an independent investigation led by former Attorney General Eric Holder. If these claims are confirmed, we will take all measures necessary to root out and remove this disturbing behavior from our company. Our top priority is and remains the health and safety of our team members." Ferdinand, who died April 20th, was also at least 5 Waterloo plants employees who died of the virus. According to Black Hawk County Health Department, more than 1,000 workers at the plant, over a third of the facility's workforce, contracted the virus. The lawsuit alleges that despite the uncontrolled spread of the virus at the plant, Tyson required its employees to work long hours in cramped conditions without providing the appropriate personal protective equipment and without ensuring workplace safety measures were followed. The lawsuit was recently amended and included a number of new allegations against the company and plant officials. Among them, in mid-April, around the Black Hawk County Sheriff's Tony Thompson visited the plant and reported the work conditions were shocked. They shocked him to the core. Plant managers Tom Hart organized a cash buy-in winner-take-all betting pool for supervisors and managers to wager how many plant employees would test positive for COVID-19. John Casey, an upper-level manager at the plant, is alleged to have had explicitly directed supervisors to ignore symptoms of COVID-19, telling them to show up to work even if they were exhibiting symptoms of the virus. Casey reportedly referred to the COVID-19 as the glorified flu and told workers not to worry about it because it's not a big deal and everyone is going to get it. On one occasion, Casey intercepted a sick supervisor who was on his way to be tested and ordered him to get back to work, saying, "We all have symptoms. You have a job to do. After one employee vomited on the production line, managers reportedly allowed the man to continue working and then returned to work the next day. In late March and early April, as the pandemic spread across Iowa, managers at the Waterloo plant reportedly began avoiding the plant floor for fearing of contracting the virus. As a result, they increasingly delegated managerial authority and responsibilities to lower supervisors who had no management training or experience. The supervisors did not require truck drivers to, some contractors, to have temperature checks before entering the plant. In March and April, plant supervisors falsely denied the existence of any confirmed coronavirus cases or positive tests for the virus within the plant, and allegedly told workers that they had a responsibility to keep working to ensure Americans did not go hungry as a result of a shutdown. Tyson paid out $500 thank you bonuses to employees who turned up every day scheduled shift for 3 months, a policy decision that allegedly incentivized sick workers to continue reporting for work. Tyson executives allege lobby Iowa Gov. Kim Reynolds for COVID-19 liability protections that would shield the company from lawsuits, and successfully lobbied the government to declare that only the state government, not local governments, had the authority to close businesses in response to the pandemic. While Tyson has yet to file the formal response to the new allegations, it has said in previous court filings that it is vigorously disputed the plaintiff's claims and has invested millions of dollars to provide employees with safety and risk mitigation equipment. The lawsuit claims that while Tyson has reportedly claimed that its operations needed to remain open to feed America, the company increased its exports to China by 600% during the first quarter of 2020. The lawsuit is seeking unspecified damages for fraudulent misrepresentation and gross negligence. The case was initially filed in the state court claiming violations of Iowa law. At Tyson's request, the case was moved to a federal court, with the company claiming it had remained open during the pandemic at the direction of the federal officer, President Donald Trump, who on April 28th invoked his authority under the Defense Production Act and ordered meat and poultry processing companies to continue operating. The nonprofit organization Public Citizen has filed an amendment. I apologize for not pronouncing that word right. Brief in the case, supporting Fernandez family's effort to remain the action back to the state court. In a brief, Public Citizens has said that neither the defense production nor the executive order signed by former President Trump, had directed Tyson to do anything. The Waterloo facility is Tyson's largest pork plant in the United States. The facility employs approximately 2,800 workers who process approximately 19,500 hogs per day. And you can also go and check this out for yourself. And it is a very interesting story. My thoughts on this is that it's very disgusting and disheartening to see that a company will put profits before people, but this is nothing new. Many companies that have not been caught, many companies that are right now that's not in the public eye are fighting lawsuits. They have been talking about this on the Republican side when Donald J. Trump was president. They wanted liability protection for companies, and Tyson would be one of those companies, and it would fall under the premise that no employee would be able to sue them at the expense of the employee and their families. Money is really tight as it is right now, especially back in March and April. What do you say to the families that their family members work there, were loyal employees, love to work at their jobs, and you can't even abide by the basic principle of looking out for your employees. It's really terrible. And another thing that I wanted to say also, that it is no secret that for years processor plants like Tyson and many others have always had situations with their safety as far as food handling and things that's going on. I'm sad to see that it took a pandemic for people to really start to realize a lot of the complaints I feel, in my opinion, were literally swept under the rug. There were payouts that were done even before the pandemic was a thing. It was many employees, I believe, in my opinion, that came forward and talked about the improper use of equipment and staff doing things that they shouldn't have done. I do feel that the people that betted on these people's lives should face some legal action or be thrown in jail and fined on top of that, because you cannot do that to human people. You cannot do that to life. These people, they just want to feed their families. They just want to provide a service. Some people, me, being a person that has worked in a factory before, that has worked in a warehouse where food production was a thing exclusively, know that it's pride in knowing that the food that you are shipping out all over the world into the community is made and done by their hand, and that people are getting the best product for their value. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not sure if anyone else feels this way, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one that feels this way. So, it's just really disheartening. It's really, it shouldn't have took a pandemic for them to up their safety and standards, just to care a little bit more about their employees, so that their employees can work and know that they are providing the best work, the best production for the America and all over the world, and not have to worry about contracting a virus or contagion or anything like that, or any of their customers that they sell to contracting a virus or anything from their product. It shouldn't always come down to $1. It should just come down to what's right. It's like the old saying, if I wouldn't feed it to my family, if I wouldn't eat it myself, then I wouldn't give it to anyone else. And again, this is just my opinion. So I would like to know what you think, how you feel about this. Please drop down in the comments. Please let me know how you feel. And if you are a person that works currently or has worked in a factory setting or a warehouse setting where food was the priority and the main thing, I would definitely like to hear from you. Like I said, I used to work dealing with produce and chicken and stuff like that in a warehouse, and I've personally seen myself things that people like the supervisors are disgusting. Like where I worked at, I can't say for everybody else, but where I worked at, they were disgusting. It was always cold. there. And, sometimes the supervisors, you would see them, they would go in the bathroom, use the bathroom, not wash their hands. When it is a requirement, a policy to wash your hands, even if you touch something with your gloves, you have to essentially discard those gloves and get new ones. And that simple step, those simple steps wasn't even followed when I was working in, the warehouse. So, I can kind of understand how, the families feel about that. But whatever the case is, let me know how you feel. And until then, you guys, I will talk to you later.